hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In celebration of GBO2 getting the high new Gundam, I felt like it would be a good time to have a video that is a deep dive on Amuro Ray's high new Gundam mobile suit. Sometimes I leave the deep dives for the podcast slash the Gundam Explained show that's live on Thursdays. But you know what? I think this deserves its own video. Also, shout out to Talos Mobius for helping me do the research on this. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. If you think this is a cool video, give it a like. Check the links in the description for ways you can support the channel. Also, check out our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. Let's get started. All right, initiating old type highware. Let's do this. So, yeah, quick look at the high new Gundam. It looks cool. I gotta say, I like it way better than the new. Not too big of a fan of like the purple gradient on the fins, and it's interesting that, or the fin funnels, it's interesting that on some other variations of it, whether it's a model kit or an action figure, there'll be different degrees of purple, sometimes blue. Even the shield will sometimes have the spotted gradient look or just solid purple lines. Just some quick background, the RX 93 V2 High New Gundam is an alternate interpretation of the RX 93 New Gundam, which appears in Mobile Suit Gundam Torchica's Children. It is piloted by Amuro Ray. Originally developed in the Anaheim Electronics facility near Von Braun, the High New Gundam's basic design was an update of past Gundam-type mobile suits, returning to the basics of Federation-made mobile suits and going against the trend of larger, more complex mobile suit designs at the time. Its most notable feature was a set of 6 all-range weapons mounted on its back known as fin funnels, which were capable of both attack and defense. This made it the first full-spec, new-type-use Gundam-type mobile suit. The first full-spec, new-type-use Gundam. That's interesting. The High New Gundam also featured a Seikamu system designed by its main pilot and engineer, Amuro Ray. Originally, the system only served as the control mechanism for the fin funnels. However, after the Londo Bell captured a MSN-03 to Psycho Doga used by Neo Zeon, the Psycho frame technology obtained from it was incorporated into the High New, improving its responsiveness via brainwave controls. Because of Amuro's modifications, the suffix V2 was added to its original model number of RX-93. Other than the fin funnels, the High New Gundam was also armed with a pair of head-mounted Vulcan guns and an arsenal of custom-made weapons, a beam rifle, a new hyper bazooka, 3 beam sabers, one on each back-mounted funnel hanger. 3 beam sabers. One inside a saber rack in the left forearm. Okay, that's making sense. A machine gun mounted in the right forearm and a shield with built-in ranged weaponry. The High New Gundam was completed within 3 months. This was the result of the maturation of movable frame technology, the tireless effort of engineers, as well as Amuro's own deep understanding of mobile suits. So that's a lot of cool background information of how it got to that point, especially considering it added that they weren't trying to make them too complicated in design. That's some interesting lore. Some other notes on this. In the real world, the High New had many depictions from its original design by multiple artists, and because of that, even its weapons vary based on the depiction. A few examples, but not limited to: the machine gun at times is depicted as beam Gatling gun that has an extendable beam blade, and the beam sabers are either pink or blue, depending on the depiction of the MS. And we've noticed in GBO2 that the beam saber does have both the pink and blue variants at the time of this recording. Don't know the details on that. The High New often is referred to as the finalized new or the perfect new, as it's not a rushed model unlike its movie variant, the New Gundam. The High New is commonly seen as a direct upgrade from the new for Amuro Ray in the Super Robot Wars game, suggesting that it is a higher performing suit that was made specifically for Amuro Ray and was able to perform better than the new was meant to. At times, Amuro would even say that the High New felt perfect and even felt like an extension of himself, meaning that even the Psycho frame was better tuned for Amuro Ray. Through that, we can even see the possible evolution from the imperfect biosensor that even the Rigazi was equipped with to a more perfected system seen in the Psycho frame around the cockpit. So it's cool to see, along with the evolution of the kind of the weaponized design of the suit itself, also that Psycho frame biosensor system. I think we're noting is that due to it being stronger than the Sazabi Nightingale, it can be understood that the High New probably surpassed most units even beyond the Unicorn era, as it was able to rival an MS that was bordering between mobile armor and mobile suit. Its reactor output was superior to most units, as the High New was able to power both its funnels, onboard beam weapons, and the Hyper Mega Bazooka launcher that it was able to charge fire consecutively, but was ultimately able to fire once due to the events of the manga. The sole reason the HMBL was not fired multiple times was because of a cut cable. A full armor variant of the Hi-Nu exists as a concept and as add-ons for the MG Verka kit of the Hi-Nu called the FA-93 V2 HWS Hi-Nu Gundam Heavy Weapon System type, reviving the idea that all Gundams have their full armor. The Hi-Nu was the original concept of the Nu, as it was intended to be the origins of the last of Amuro and Char's confrontation, but was changed for the public audience, making the Nu technically the alternate version of the original Hi-Nu. Ironically, in Beltortica's Children, the Hi-Nu is simply called Nu Gundam. Because of its origins, it received the name Hi-Nu to avoid future confusion between different suits that follow the same line. So, in the end, it's very interesting to see that the Hi-Nu, the original Nu Gundam, got its name changed to Hi-Nu because of the continuity between the movies and the manga. And I gotta say, I personally like the Hi-Nu design better than the Nu Gundam. It's very interesting that I feel that way. Curious what you think. So what are your thoughts on the Hi-Nu Gundam? I feel like this is a badass mobile suit that hasn't got the representation that it deserves. It's got the Verka, it's got the real grade, but we don't really see it in any animations. It would be nice to actually get some follow-on animation of that, but we can see what's happened in animation at the end of Char's counterattack. It kind of wouldn't make sense to see Amuro and Char back again. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks to Lord Talos Mobius for helping me do the research on this, and thanks to all the supporters out there. We'll talk later.